times we bring you every line. From dirt to asphalt, lights go green. Battle hard, chase the dream. Every lap, every turn. Feel that engine burn. The views and opinions shared on this program belong solely to the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of our sponsors, affiliates, or broadcast partners. All right, race fans, let's rev it up!
Why is branded apparel so important for your company? Well, because a shirt or even a hat that has your brand on it gets worn to grocery stores, baseball games, or even family reunions. The impressions are endless and they last years. Contact us today so we can help elevate your company.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another Hump Day edition of the Revved Up Sports Show. Showtime Bobby Chaffee right here. Special guest host this week, Sugar Sean Folsom. That's the man I believe probably going to be on y'all's right. We're switched a little different positions today with Rodney off on not vacation. That's not right. He's on assignment with the day job, working with some soccer stuff, or as we should say, some football stuff. And so welcome in to Sugar Sean Folsom as we try to have a quick edition here of the show. What's going on, buddy? How the hell are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Just resting and getting well rested after this past weekend. It was a busy weekend for me, doing toy shows and then doing racing photography. It's been a busy week, but finally I actually got my photos edited and out today, so all the drivers at Cotton Bowl and all the families could see all their good racing memories that I captured from this past weekend.
Well, that's a good thing. I know that I spent a good chunk of the weekend with you there at that toy show, buying stuff I don't need with money I don't have. So that's probably a pretty good thing. But that's just like racing. You end up buying stuff you don't need. And, you try. What is the old saying? You spend money you don't have to beat people you don't like, to race in front of people you don't know for no money. Right? Like
exactly.
kind of the way that works. Right. So. Anyways, it's been a good week so far. I had a lot of good racing action, both locally and nationally. We will get into both in terms of the flow of the show, but we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Although we're going to try to keep it kind of buttoned up a little shorter than normal, because Rodney and I can get on here and yap forever on this show. So, but I did get confirmation that he is paying attention to the show. So.
Boss man's watching.
Boss man is watching. So is your brother. Jamming to the new Revved Sports Show theme. Thanks to our buddy Tim Fiddler. We have two versions of that. Have you noticed there's two versions?
Yes, I think he played the country one last show.
We played the rock one first, then we've got a country one, and then I decided to play the rock one again this one. So I'm partial to the rock one versus the country one. As always, show is live. Show is live, so we'll take your comments live on the air as they come in. Sometimes you can affect the direction of the show, sometimes not. It kind of depends on the comment that you make. And we're live on multiple channels around the world, both on the Revved Sports Show Facebook page, our buddies on the YouTube page, as well as Rodney's X account. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the Dirty Air Sports YouTube channel, go ahead and do that. We're trying to get more and more people to go that route, because obviously Facebook wants a lot of money to do a lot of stuff, and so does YouTube. But we're trying to work on some YouTube only content over there just to try to drive up the numbers, the subscription numbers. Just if you're watching the video, just hit like the video. And then if you also just want to subscribe to the channel, it helps us out a lot. I think we're right at 300 subscribers over there, shooting for 500, because I think there's a monetary benefit if you get 500. So yeah. So we love the big budget that we have on the show that we normally have. So tell us about your weekend there at Cotton Bowl, man. It looked like it was looked like there was some kind of rock and sock and robots, and then there was a couple of flips and some beat banging and a lot of hurt feelings. Tell me about that weekend over at Cotton Bowl.
Well, the Cotton Bowl was actually pretty good. We did the tribute for Sophia and her family and everything, and that went really well. The family was really appreciative of how we took advantage and did everything for them and everything. Really great way to honor that little girl in every way we did and we could for at the track. lot of drivers pitched in and helped out. We took a checkered flag and had it signed around the pit area for her and everything else. So that was awesome. And then we also had a pink helmet that was also taken around, donated by Cody Farmer and his family to take around the pits and also get signed by drivers. So both those were donated, given to the family. So that was really cool. On the racing side, we had the dwarf cars with us this past weekend, so that was a lot of great racing action. Those little cars pack a lot of speed in behind them, so that was interesting and good racing. The Spring brothers had a side-by-side battle for the finish there, and actually, I think it was, forget which one it was, either Dylan or Brandon. They won the feature, so that was really great. And then rollover action, poor guy rolled his car in the feature. It wasn't that he pretty much tore it up. It was in pieces. Had trouble getting out of the car, but he was safe and okay. And great deal of that. Always seeing a driver come out. David Miller was the driver that rolled his car. Had a brain fart there. But yeah, it was great to see David come out of the car and be safe and everything else. There was a little fire in the car, but our great safety crew and fire team at Cotton Bowl Speedway got that out as quick as possible. So, yeah, other than that, racing, there's always going to be hurt feelings no matter what. So, I mean, that comes with the territory, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's great to see. Obviously, as you were on the show last week, we talked about Little Sophia and all the stuff for the fans. So it's good to see all the racers get involved. It's we ended up doing a fundraiser down in Edna for one of the longest tenure, actually not one of the longest tenured staff member on the Texana staff, has been there for all 40 years, and it's Miss Linda Brown. She's works the front gate, and she's the best advertising we got, because you see her smiling face every time you get a ticket, either to get into the front gate or get into the pits if it's not too crowded at the pit side window. But she ended up having to have a pacemaker, so we did a pass the helmet with some of the South Texas dirt trucks, and they did a really good job on pass the helmet. And then a couple of the racers donated their winnings to that family as well. Raised $500.25. I don't know where the 25 cents came from, but we ended up raising legitimately right at $500. So that was great. As we said, that was the very appreciative of the fans and the drivers there at Texana Raceway Park. And we know it doesn't matter the track. We've seen it all over the place. That your competitors and your emotions get the best of you. But then when you're not on the racetrack, sometimes the emotions are a good thing, because of the fact that you're able to come together as a family, right? And be able to enjoy, as I say in the prayer, the spirit of competition.
Yeah.
And we've seen that multiple, not just here locally, year after year. It's track after track after track where they come together. Competitors put aside their differences for a couple of minutes and they decide that they want to help out. So, but lots of good racing action there. Our friends at I-37 were in action, so it was a crowded weekend market wise down in South Texas. But it's funny. Roddy and I were texting back and forth the other day, and then we were talking about it on his Facebook page. There's so many racetracks in the upper Midwest that are canceling because of the heat wave, and us Texans down here are trying to laugh at them. It's like the heat index in Chicago is going to be like 105, which I feel for those people, because not a lot of them have the AC.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, we're used to that heat. We're used to that heat down here. And 105-degree heat index, hell, that's a mid-July race into September for us. So but it's kind of funny. And then you feel for the Brits and stuff that are still here as we get ready this weekend to celebrate America's 250th birthday. Tonight, hopefully we don't lose a lot of our audience due to the U.S. men's soccer team game. Or football. Yeah. Is it soccer team or football club? What are we calling this FIFA World Cup? What is our team? Since we say soccer in the U.S. because football is American football.
Yeah.
What do we call the men's team? Is it I think that's why they just call it the U.S. men's team. They don't say football club or soccer.
Yeah, I think it's just U.S. men's team. I mean, it all depends, I guess, what side of the country you're from, but.
Yeah, talk about a foreigner. Coming up on 10-year anniversary when we went to Europe for 10 days. The World Cup was in Paris, And the night of the final, France didn't make it, and they were in the semifinals. So we were in Paris. Everybody was watching the World Cup, and it was kind of funny. We went to a Irish bar in Barcelona. I may have told the story last week. I don't remember. And we ended up. She's like, we got one seat left, and it was the seat underneath the TV. I was like, don't worry about it. I ain't watching soccer. And so they knew right then and there I was a damn American tourist. But I still love seeing the videos of all of the Europeans having such a great time. It's the stuff we take for granted, though, right? Like they're over there, they're going nuts about Buc-ee's and barbecue and just how big Walmarts and HEBs are. And then, when you think about it too, I mean, they're surprised at a gallon of milk. They're like, this milk is so big, so it's just funny. And it's not just the driving on the right side of the road. I watched a video the other day that there was a Brit that was living in the States for the last year. She was talking about the differences between the cars over there and the cars here. And the first thing she said is, it's just like everything else in the U.S. They're massive. It's not just the steering wheel being on the right side versus the left side. But I'm telling you, man, I've been there, and those cars they're all tiny. Like when I was getting a haircut in Barcelona, before we went to that Irish pub, I was talking to my barber. And it was like we were talking about, I'm like, dude, I said, one of your smart cars right down the street will fit in the bed of my truck. And he's like, really? So why does everybody have big trucks? I said, it's just what we do, especially in Texas. The national car of Texas is a pickup truck. And so lots, it's just so different, but it's great to see the people, from all over the world embracing the United States for a change. So, lots of good stuff. What's your 4th of July plans, dude?
Work, unfortunately. The real job that pays the bills, I have to work that. Working retail is no fun. We don't get off holidays, unfortunately. So
oh man, that is no fun. Hell, I'm off on Friday and Saturday, so I'm working on being in a parade, but I just found out I have to register for the parade, and I'm like, well, damn, do I want to be in the parade now? Small town USA. It's like normally in years past we just showed up and we just got in line and got in the parade. Apparently now they got rules and regulations we have to follow. So I don't know. I'll know more about that tonight after the show. So we're having a lot of fun. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I'm just taking a buddy's golf cart. That's all. So anyway, let's talk about the breaking news in the short track world of the week. And I know that this is somebody that you follow along fairly well there in your social media extravaganza that you go. Our buddy, the pulsing sensation that is Cletus McFarland. This dude is starting to go all in on racing, I think, because of the fact that he is now working with Ricky Brooks and is starting his own late model tour.
I think that's quite interesting, to say the least. I mean, he's been doing racing stuff, circle track racing stuff for a while now, since he's been owning that track down there in Florida. But to jump into the late model scene is something different for sure.
Yeah, I think what it is, though, is that he's now, not that he's uncommitted to drag racing, and he's never going to be uncommitted to the Freedom Factory and Bradenton Motorsports Park, the drag strip next door to the Freedom Factory. He is just starting to just get in with both feet with this circle track stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think that because of the fact that he's, I never ever realized how much of a needle mover he really was until I saw him at the ARCA West race, ARCA East race there at Rockingham. That dude moved the needle because it was right when he debuted for the O'Reilly series there with Richard Childress. And they all had brand new shirts, and there was a ton of those number 33 RCR shirts. And you knew that all of them were bought brand new because of the fact that it was a brand new car. They had just got them off the website or bought them from RCR, wherever they did. That dude is a needle mover. We've seen it at the Cletus effect at the truck race at Daytona. We see it for the ARCA races at Daytona, Talladega, stuff like that. And I think that he's making the right move. And I'd like your opinion and everybody else's opinion on Cletus. I think he's making the right move working with pro late models and super late models, especially when he has access to it at the Freedom Factory. Because obviously he's worked with Ricky Brooks before. But I mean, do you think he's better off running super late models and pro late models versus running short track ARCA?
I mean, he definitely needs the seat time. I see that. Not running Crown Vics running Crown Vics all the time is not really seat time for the faster cars and bigger series like he has been with ARCA. But yeah, I think getting in a late model and actually getting a feel for those cars and stuff like that, I think that will help him in the long run with ARCA and maybe moving up later on in his career. Because I know on his YouTube channel, he's already said that he would like to move up. That was Biffle's plan, was to move him up through the series, but to do it the right way, not just buy your way in. But everybody's got their own opinions. But I think he does need the seat time, to be honest, and to help him out moving forward in his program.
Yeah, speaking of comments, we do have one big comment from one of the El Jefes of the show.
Uh-oh.
The A team is here today, so Rodney's able to take a break from the day job to catch in and listen to the show. I do know that he was watching because he sent me some stuff for like an audio check. And he said that we were sounding remotely good, so that was good. It was one of those phew moments right there, because I still learning how to press the buttons on this. Rodney's the one that does all the buttons, as everybody knows. So today I get to sit in the fighter jet pilot chair, so hopefully we don't have to do a massive random eject thing, because one of us has got to be Goose, and I don't know which one of us is going to be.
Well, you're doing a great job so far.
But So anyways, back to the Cletus stuff. They're running races at Berlin, and in conjunction, it's going to be right around the Show Me the Money, the 250 race, which is always a big super late model race at Berlin up in Michigan, and they get a ton of race cars for that. Get them from all over the country, and I think what's weird about it is that it's piggybacking off of that, but I'm really surprised that it's not at the Freedom Factory. I mean, that's the thing that surprised me. It's a let me see, I wrote it down. 75 laps, $20,000 to win, coming up on August the 15th. So about 6 weeks out for that. So they're definitely going to do some promotion for it. But the fact that it's at Berlin and not at the Freedom Factory, the only thing I can think of is he wants to piggyback off of the big late model race at Berlin that pays all the big dollars to keep the drivers there for a couple of days. So I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. I'm very interested to see. I haven't, for some reason, I haven't. His YouTube channel is not popping up I'm subscribed to it, but it's not popping up as a recommended video choice here lately. I have to actually go search for it. But I mean, it seems like everybody knows. The last time I watched an episode, a full episode, anyways, I watched the one where he got his pool made.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one was kind of funny, but I mean, it's just amazing. That's why we don't need to be YouTube sensations like Cletus McFarland. That's why we want a few followers on YouTube, because apparently if you get enough people, you can make money.
Yeah, we got to get enough people first for that, though.
They're out there. I was looking, I'll send you the text that I got today. Somehow, some way I clicked on the back half of the dashboard. I got some interesting information about what our demographics are, male versus female, and where they're from.
Huh. Well, that's always good info.
I have to text that to you. So as everybody can see, Rusty's back up and ready to go, as I always mention. My good compadre right here. It's funny. I got him dog treats so that he wouldn't, when he jumped up on the side of the couch, I just give him a dog treat, and I was hoping that he'd just go, right back, lay right back down. But no, now he wants more dog treats.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like he got hooked. Now he's like, if I sit on the arm of the couch in the studio, I can get all the treats that I want. So he's, like I said, he's about 3/4 of the way blind, and he's about half deaf. But that sniffer works. But
it's not the only thing that works still.
So what do you think is going to be success for Cletus? I mean, is it one of those things where it's like, is it? Obviously, it's a stepping stone for pro late models and super late models for him. Obviously, he wants to run the truck. I think that it's merely seat time, and I think the people around him have told him the best thing to do is get a late model.
Even Junior on his own Dirty Mo air, it said that he needs to run late models more and get more seat time in those cars. So I mean, it's not just other drivers; it's even people like Junior and everybody else down on that. Which I agree, he does need it. And to go back on the fact of maybe him running at Berlin, maybe he doesn't want to run it at Freedom Factory just yet because he don't want it to look like he's got home field advantage either, just being his own track. Maybe that's just a thought, but
Yeah, well, they're taking the Crown Vics too, so that's going to be. It's a traveling circus. I love the Crown Vic races. The problem is that Freedom Plus is expensive.
Oh yes,
Freedom Plus, they're very proud of that stream, and so
Yes.
they definitely like making money on the streaming aspect of Freedom Plus. Although now I don't know if you saw it or not, he's teaming up with Landon Huffman to run the Henderson Motorsports number 75 truck at the truck race coming up in 2 weeks, I think, or a week and a half in Martinsville, or not North Wilkesboro.
I thought I saw a post on Facebook where somebody was at like the race shop or whatever. They posted a race shop photo of the truck actually out there. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's Cletus McFarland and baldeagle.com, which is basically just it takes you to a store. Takes you to his internet store. Speaking of taking you to an internet store, we have one of those ourselves. And right here, there it is. Revved Up Sports Show merchandise from our friends at On Demand Shirts. Obviously, the best of the business. They're the official apparel provider of the Revved Up Sports Show, Dirty Air, Rodney Rodriguez, and myself, Showtime. And not today, though. This is just here to celebrate the. I've got on my wonderful American flag shirt. I told you it finally came in.
I know.
I had it at Texana, and then I decided to wear it again today. I'm also going to wear it Saturday. If I'm in with or without the parade, I'm probably going to wear it on Saturday. So, but I'm like you. I think that it's mainly just a stepping stone. I mean, all it is to get seat time. Because I mean, the problem is I hate to say the problem with ARCA. When he ran that East race at Rockingham, he finished 4th. All right, and your top 3 is who you expected to smoke the field because of the ARCA race. Because you got 5 laps in and you got 5 cars 5 laps down.
Yeah.
And so when they go to the ARCA National race, you usually have to go 10 laps to get 5 cars a lap down. But I mean, I feel like he has the ability to do a top 15 finish in ARCA on a short track. I mean, he did really good with that year, other than stepping on it on the restart. He did a really good job there at Charlotte in the ARCA race. But he just didn't know. He doesn't know what he doesn't know, right? About shifting gears and taking off and stuff like that. The racecraft, as you mentioned. I mean, part of it too is the simple fact that he has to be able to know the race. He would have won that race at Talladega had he not tried to block super, super low. If he'd have kept a straighter line, he gets that big ass trophy that they give away at Talladega. Because he went for the block. Andy J was able to stayed straight on the outside and beat them both. And so I think that's where that's what we're talking about, needing to do the racecraft. So obviously some stuff that's coming along there, but 75 laps, $20,000 to win. They're the Cletus McFarland's late model series. It almost sounds like a traveling circus.
Yeah.
I really hope not, but it sounds like a traveling circus. Who's promoting the hell out of that race is our friends over at Sunshine State Racing. We've had Jen and the gang over there. That if you want to follow some really good racing stories, follow our friends over at Sunshine State Racing. They're very good. So, oh man, Vegas Golden Knights just traded somebody away from the team that I thought would never ever be traded from that team. Keegan Salazar got traded. That's a shock. Yeah, that's my Vegas Golden Knights are trading away everybody that's good.
That's not good.
Yeah, I know.
Especially since they've been doing good the past couple of years, right?
Well, I mean, they obviously know what they're doing. They've traded away good players before, so they kind of know what they're doing. So we're not even going to talk about LeBron James today because we don't really care where he goes.
No.
The only star that we talk about in racing is Michael Jordan. Although, did you see the news in Cup level news that there's another celebrity investor at Legacy Motor Club with Jimmy Johnson?
Yes. Good old, what's his name? Another brain fart. I can't remember his name.
The cook. He's the cook, Guy Fieri.
Yes.
He joins Darius Rucker from formerly of Hootie and the Blowfish. I feel bad for Darius Rucker because for so long, everybody thought his first name was Hootie.
Yes.
Yeah, for those that just showed our age, talking about listening to Hootie and the Blowfish up front. So, lots of racing action. How do you think you've been in racing a long time like I have, and I understand the patriotism, and I understand like our friends down at the South Texas Race Ranch in Corpus Christi are running a 2-day show both Friday and Saturday, which is great and all of that. I've always been perplexed running a race on a major holiday weekend, especially the magnitude of the 250th birthday of America. I understand that you need to run races as much as you can because, if you're not running races, the bills still come in and somebody's got to pay the bills. Obviously, they need to run a race down there because of the fact that, as we talked to Stefan Danielson last week, they've had their troubles down there. Weather and Mother Nature, the facilities getting torn up and stuff like that. But the only reason I question it is you're going to have your diehard fans. And as we mentioned before on the show all the time, your diehard fans are the ones that kind of sort of pay the bills, but it's your average everyday fan and your new fans that help make the place break even and help make the place kind of make a little bit of money. My question for the whole thing, and it's to everybody out there, is the 250th birthday of America the right night to do it, especially when you have, obviously, you got Labor Days on a Monday, Memorial Days on a Monday. So you got those two, but for the fact that 4th of July is on a Saturday night and it's the 250th birthday, in my opinion, not that I'm trying to throw shade at the Race Ranch or any other tracks that are trying to race this weekend, because they got a bunch up in North Texas with some big late model tours coming around on Friday and Saturday and some outlaw modified big mods going Friday and Saturday. Is there just going to be too much stuff to do to justify racing locally on a Saturday night, going head to head against everything else that's out there for America's 250th birthday on a Saturday night?
I think it'd make it definitely hard. But being a racer myself, if there's a track racing, then I'm more likely going to go race. And probably do some of the family stuff on Sunday. But being that it is 4th of July on Saturday, that does make it a little bit more challenging because, some people do want to spend the time with their families and barbecue and party and shoot off fireworks and all that stuff. So it does make it a little challenging to weigh the options there. You know what I mean? And then with the scheduling wise, I mean, you do have all of us that raced this past weekend, and then all of a sudden, the South Texas has, this weekend to kind of work with. So I think that's another issue too. It's an open weekend, so maybe there will be more drivers that choose to go run this weekend because no other track's running down here this year right now.
Yeah, I think the ability, because a lot of the Corpus guys have stayed true to that track. A lot of them did not travel as much as we thought they were going to. With the long break that they had. So a lot of the Corpus guys and gals in that general vicinity did not travel to I-37. They did not travel to Texana. And so a lot of them, I think, hopefully will show up for the gang down there at South Texas Speedway coming up this weekend on Friday and Saturday night. So that'll be fun. So I also think that the challenge is it's we posted a thing, the article there on the Revved Up Facebook page that Ricky Brooks had talked about the promoter, losing 25% of their money and stuff like that. And he's right. We have lots of promoters on here and we try to get them to be honest, and they're usually honest. And they say it's hard to make a buck. It's in this day and age, it's hard. And the other part too, is that we only have so many facilities and it's around the country, especially here in Texas, but it's around the country that the fact that the promoters don't own the facility, you have to have an owner that's committed to do the upgrades. You have to have an owner that's committed to do the upkeep and stuff like that. So a lot of times it's, it falls on the promoter to replace the boards in the grandstands, to replace, speakers that go out, or replace bathroom faucets and toilets and urinals and stuff that go out and need replacement and updates and maintenance. So I just feel like that's been a big problem over the course of racing, over the course of probably the last 15 years, is that the promoters are not the owners of the facility. And they're, that's what separates the really good tracks from some of the other tracks. I mean, some people want to blame streaming. It's, it's facility wise now. I think that, your days of going to a shithole racetrack, you're going to have your diehard fans, but with the way that everything is so easy to consume from the house, you may love the racing at a bull ring all across the country, but if you could sit your ass at home and watch it versus trying to go to a shithole racetrack, and I'm not calling any track out, by no means, I'm not calling any track out, but facilities matter in today's time and age. It really does. I think that you have to have a well-run facility for one, because you don't want the show lasting all that long. But I think the facility itself, the cleanliness, Some of the, you don't have to have Wi-Fi like you do at a big public stadium or an arena or something like that. But I think that you have to have a presentable property, because I really think that changes people's ideas of the qual. I think you can have a really good race, and some people will take away they will take away from the badassness, if that's a word, of the show, because the quality of the facility is just not there.
Yeah, the quality, and then just the employees, the staff themselves too. Sometimes that'll scare people away. Also, just going to a track and getting unfriendly responses, or just unfriendly people working at the track will scare you away. Also.
Yeah, definitely. So that's I don't know. That was just my heavy take, my soapbox moment, if you will, from the 4th of July weekend. I mean, I'm just curious. Um, just because there's so much stuff to do. I mean, I've got a jam-packed day, from a parade to spending time with the family to doing my own fireworks to watching city-sponsored fireworks. Like, I've got a lot going on Saturday. So the last thing I'm thinking about is going to a racetrack. So, and I go to racetrack all the damn time. So I think for the month of July, I think I've got 3 races in Edna, and I'm helping out in Houston. I need to double check with Jen on that. I think I'll be in Houston helping out on the asphalt track coming up mid-July. So there's all kind of stuff to do. The dream never stops. Dream never stops, does it, dude?
No, it doesn't. I mean, just like you said, coming up pretty soon for Cotton Bowl, it's going to be almost back to back to back races there. So, yeah, it's going to be a pretty busy schedule coming up for me pretty quick too.
All right, so we are halfway through the show. Let's take a quick break, if I can figure out how to take a break here. And we will listen to our friends at On Demand Shirts and hear from our friends right there at My Race Pass, because they help. If you need to get the best information possible for your racing, get yourself a subscription to My Race Pass. We'll be right back. Sugar Sean Folsom, Bobby Chaffee, right here, Revved Sports Show.
Welcome to the My Race Pass app, the #1 app for motorsports fans. We want to make sure you get the most out of your My Race Pass app experience. With your new free account, you can use the My Race Pass app to see race day information, including event entries and official lineups and results for over 600 organizations across North America. You can also see track information and purchase online event tickets for select tracks. With your free account, you can also search for a track or series on the My Race Pass app and favorite their profile to receive news and race day notifications on your mobile device. To see more information and to see which app subscription is best for you, be sure to visit getmrpapp.com. My Race Pass, the ultimate racing resource.
You've probably seen us all over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs for events and race teams, but we also do a lot of stuff from small boutiques in small cities all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Your brand deserves to be seen. We print on more than just shirts, hats, jackets, bags, and much, much more. Custom corporate branding starts here.
All right, back here live on a Wednesday hump day edition of the Revved Sports Show. Showtime, Bobby Chaffee, Sugar Sean Folsom, sitting in for the Iceman, Rodney Rodriguez. You got to get him to tell that story one time about how he got the Iceman nickname. I'm one of the few that actually calls him the Iceman anymore.
I call him that every once in a while, but
yeah, you can tell the people that known him forever because they're like Iceman. When we went to Jack Sandifer's service, there was a bunch of people going Iceman. So that was kind of fun. So anyway, so now we got a lot of the local stuff out of the way. Don't forget, if you're Texas local, don't forget to check out our friends down at the South Texas Race Ranch. They are putting on a hell of a show, and they are ready to rock and roll. I know Jen's been pushing out a lot of social media stuff, and Stefan's been getting that track ready. So lots of stuff. So on to the wonderful world of NASCAR. It's got a few news and notes out of there. As we talked about last week, although Chase Briscoe tried not to make it one, it turned into another road course, Shane Van Gisbergen benefit race. What I know you didn't get to watch it live. Did you go back and watch the highlights?
No, actually, I haven't even watched that yet either. But I know your man Shane Van Gisbergen won again, so that's I guess okay. I mean, he's the road course king, I guess you could say, for this year.
Well, you're an old school NASCAR fan, and I'd like other people's opinions too, because I know kind of where it's going to go. The question that's out there now in mainstream NASCAR media and even somewhat of these local shows and local podcasts and stuff like that is Shane Van Gisbergen the best NASCAR road racer ever. He's one win behind Jeff Gordon to get to 9 to tie Gordon. But your old school fans are like, no, Gordon's the best ever. He's going to be all that good stuff. And some people say that, there's been others, Dan Gurney and stuff like that. The question is, do you go off of eyeball? You personally, and this goes for the people at home too. Do you go off of eyeballs or do you go off of statistics? It's kind of like the old adage, Jimmy Johnson versus Dale Earnhardt versus Richard Petty. Who's the greatest of all time over there? Number wise, Richard Petty, 200 wins versus David Pearson's 105, 95 win different. But the difference was Petty had the best of everything and smoked everybody's ass because he had the STP sponsorship. Dale Earnhardt, wheelman of all wheelman. He tied Richard Petty. He didn't have the competition that some of these other guys have, including Jimmy Johnson, who dominated to win 5 in a row. So statistically, I really think that, Jimmy Johnson may be the best ever, but I think that you have to go with your different eras because I still think Gordon would have won 1 or 2 more titles had Jimmy Johnson not come along. But in terms of that, I mean, so do you look at the overall scope? Or for me, and I say this as an SVG fan, and I'm a fan. I think a lot of the people that watch this show regularly know that I'm a fan of SVG. I think that statistic-wise, he's probably the best ever when you take in the number of road courses that he has competed in versus the number of road course events that he has won. And most of the time when he wins, he dominates. It was an impressive 5 in a row for Jeff Gordon because they only ran the 2 races a year where you had Watkins Glen and Sonoma. Back then, it was just 2. I understand the evolution of the sport. I don't think we're going to have another season like we had back last year in 2025 where they had 5 road course races. This year, we had 4. You had COTA, Watkins Glen, San Diego, and now you just had Sonoma. Because don't forget, they turned the fall race from the Roval into the back to the oval. So the Roval, I think the experiment of the Roval, I personally like the Roval. I thought the race in there was great. But what do you do, dude? Do you go by eyeballs or do you go by statistics to try to determine is FCBG the best road course racer in NASCAR history?
Mine's more of eyeballs, to tell you the truth. I'm not all about the numbers and statistics and all that stuff. I'm more of what I see. And, I've heard you before, and I've seen it before also, that he is from the V8 Supercar. So they do a lot of road course racing over there, too. So that kind of gives him the advantage there over everybody, because a lot of the guys that do NASCAR are mostly all circle track racers, except for a few. Some of them do karting background and stuff. But, yeah, from what I've seen over the past few years, him being from the V8 Supercars and stuff like that, I do see him having a road course advantage for sure, because those V8 Supercars are very fast and they do handle the road courses very well.
See, there's 2 things I look at that. To me, the Xfinity wins or O'Reilly wins, I guess I owe Rodney $1. The O'Reilly Series wins are more impressive to me than the Cup wins. And it's a simple reason. One is that he's a sequential shifter of the V8 Supercar and the new Cup car. Granted, yes, it's impressive because it's on a completely different opposite side. Shifting with his right hand instead of his left hand. But that being said, to me, the O'Reilly wins that he has are more impressive because you have to go with an H pattern. And it's like you have to go for they have standard transmissions in Australia, but you do everything with your left hand to be able to run an H pattern transmission. It sounds simple. Oh, it's just up, down, left, right, boom, boom, boom. It's not like you're trying to put the cheat code into Contra or something like that. But to me, it's better. It's been better when I see him win on the O'Reilly side because of the fact it's an H pattern shifter. I think that shows how much car control he's got and how damn good he really is on a road course. Yes, he needs to win on an oval. I get that. But I don't know. That's a long way to go. Did you know? Have you heard the rumors that Connor Zilic is going to get bought out and go over to Hendrick to replace Alex Bowman in the 48 when Bowman retires?
No, I haven't heard that.
That's been the biggest rumor mill this week, is that's what's going to happen, is that Bowman is going to end up retiring because he had the back injury and he's had the vertigo and stuff like that. I don't personally see it happening because I don't think if you leave, Red Bull's not going to switch their sponsorship. They're not going to be like a Menards, which of course Menards is on the same team where, if they sponsor Ryan Blaney, but if Blaney has another sponsor like Worth or Body Armor or something like that, then they go over to Cindric's 2-car.
Mm-hmm.
I don't foresee Red Bull splitting their money between Trackhouse and Hendrick. Because obviously they're not going to abandon SVG. I think that, now that he's winning in Red Bull equipment and is a certified Red Bull athlete, just like he was down in Australia, New Zealand, I just don't see Connor Zilic leaving. I don't know if he'd want to give up your Red Bull athlete status and all the cool shit that they get to do with Red Bull, that you would give that up to be, granted, yes, you go to the Yankees of NASCAR, but you're in that 48 car, which is underperformed year over year. You go the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I don't see that happening myself. I mean, it's like you said, he would lose a lot of that Red Bull stuff, and I don't see that actually going to happen because that's a lot of money backing and support right there, just in general.
Yeah, that'd be a big blow for Trackhouse if they lose some of that Red Bull money for sure. Speaking of money, I don't know if you read or not this week, the other rumor mill this week has come through that Dodge is going to enter the Cup Series in 2027, a year earlier than their goal at 2028.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, the problem is though, and Chris Rice has said it from the beginning, and you're more in the know, NASCAR people. The biggest problem they have right now is they have no engine builder. Cars are one thing because you got a spec car, but you got to find somebody to build them motors. That's the problem that Dodge is getting into. It's different in the trucks because they caught a lot of flack because they run the Ilmor engines in the trucks. They have unique bodies, but they all run basically the same Chevrolet 350 motor out of Ilmor.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the reason they chose to race the trucks. Obviously, truck program is getting better. I don't think that Colleague started with the best trucks to begin with. I think because they had to build so many, and I think once they start building their own chassis in the truck series, they'll start getting a lot better once they get the notebook. I would anticipate Colleague being 10 times better in 27 than they will be in 28 because look at the Cup program. The Cup program's great. AJ Allmendinger is not far from the chase with zero, absolutely nada. No factory support whatsoever from General Motors because of the Dodge connection in the truck series. So what they've been able to do over there has been great. Matt Colleague, I love that team because I love the fact that Matt Colleague has said from the beginning he started as a sponsor, wanted to go bigger, found out how much it was, and he did it his own way with Leaf Filter and some of the other companies that he's got. So I feel like that was just an amazing, a meteoric rise. I mean, they won at the Brickyard. Big, granted, it was not the crown jewel that it was, and we'll get into that next week as we come to the crown jewel race coming up as the Brickyard 400 is just around the corner. Coming up in a couple of weeks, our boy Rodney will be at the Brickyard that weekend as well. So,
nice.
What's your take on Dodge coming back? I mean, is it a good thing, bad thing? I mean, obviously more competition is better. Obviously, it's going to be Colleague that's going to do it. I think you're going to get another smaller team to transfer. There was rumors that Trackhouse is going to go with Dodge, but I don't. SVG's a Chevy guy. I don't see him going to Dodge.
I mean, I think it's a good thing. It's like you said, it brings more competition. But my question is, what body style are they going to go with? That's the main question.
They'll probably run they'll run the Challenger, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, it probably looked pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. It would be good to have got Dodge back, so you have the competition there. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah, I think the part of it too is that the body parts. I mean, granted, although the other rumor, and this is not a new rumor, is that Chevrolet is going to bring back the Camaro, but it's going to be a 4-door sedan instead of a 2-door coupe, which is really going to be weird to see a 4-door Camaro. I would just call it something else, kind of like the rear engine Corvette. They should have just called that a Stingray and kept the Corvette a front engine car. So. But I think they jumped the shark on that one when they changed it over. But yeah, I think they'll use the Challenger body because it goes head to head against the Mustang, and Ford is dead. Well, Ford doesn't have anything else other than the Mustang to run in anything across the world, so that's the only car they make. So that'll be that's what they laid their bread and butter in, and so I think that'll be there. But yeah, I think that the engine woes is the biggest problem that Dodge has coming in. But I don't know, like we've always said, where there's smoke, there's fire, and sometimes those fires don't go out, and
No.
that becomes a hell of a rumor mill this week. So lots of crazy stuff going on. Now we move on to Chicagoland. I was still a firm believer they needed to run the San Diego street race on July 4th weekend. I'm also a firm believer they do need to drop the 50 laps and not have it at 300 laps on Saturday night, July 4th, for the O'Reilly series. They need to make that the America 250.
Yeah.
On the America's 250th birthday, don't run a 300 lap race. That's stupid. You run a 250 lap race and call it the America 250. That's simple.
Yeah, they missed the check mark on that one. They should that would have really made a good American name right there.
Yeah, they missed the memo about everything else in America 250. Hell, even the Revved Up Sports Show posted an America 250 logo the other day. So, as we said, we stand for the flag and stand on the gas on this show right here. So, I was looking at Facebook earlier, dude, and obviously they're returning to Chicagoland July 4th weekend, where they used to run the Chicago street race. Although there's rumors that the city of Chicago, despite NASCAR losing their ass on those couple of races, the city of Chicago wants them to come back down and run the streets of Chicago. To me, the next street race, Denver, Colorado. Mark my words. I think that's a stretch, but I have a feeling Denver's the next street because that side of the world is void of NASCAR coverage. There's a lot of NASCAR fans over there. But now they moved back to the Chicagoland Speedway. Haven't raced there since 2019, I think, maybe 2020. Facility, going to be there, depending on who you ask. They said it's a little bit like Kansas. Going to have a little bit of tire wear, kind of like not as bad as Darlington, but kind of not as bad as the old Atlanta. But it's an old surface that has aged quite well, all things considered, especially when you consider the harsh winters they have up there in Chicago, just outside, or in the Midwest, right in there. So I don't know what to expect. Although I did, going back to Facebook, one of my memories for today is a year or back in 2018. What it says, and this is quoting myself, in my opinion, Chicagoland was the best mile-and-a-half race of the year. That says a lot because back in 2018, that's all they ran was mile and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite interesting. It might be a good race. I'm not sure. It's been a while since they've raced there. So with this newer car, it might be quite interesting to see also, and to see how it handles there too.
Yeah, I think it came through like where they came through and like when they came out with the next gen car, the road course races suffered a little bit because the sports car was just too good. And I think the racing has gotten better throughout the field, despite the SVG waxing their ass on most of the races. But that Gen 6 car was putting on fantastic races at the road course. It was putting on fantastic races on the short track, but the mile and a half program kind of lacked. It lacked a lot there. So I think that when they came up with the next gen, this little bit of graphic package, this little bit of downforce package they have with this new setup with the 750 horsepower and stuff like that, I think they're going to expand that to make that into the mile and a half program because it's a mile under now. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. NASCAR lowered the horsepower ratios and the horsepower numbers to allow somebody to come in. And, some of the manufacturers that didn't have access to a V8, looking at Honda, looking at you, and looking at Hyundai or Kia would have been the couple of manufacturers they were looking at. Obviously, Dodge has the ability to get a V8 because they have the Hemi. But that package they finally come up with, I'm looking for good things on Sunday. I think that if the mile and a half package wasn't good, they wouldn't have moved the race off the Roval in Charlotte.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I think that becomes the challenge, is having the ability to really just come in and put a lights out race. So I'm looking at a good thing. Tire test was pretty decent. The difference is, what's going to happen is somebody nails the setup and smokes the show. We're all going to look stupid. But I think that you're going to see the same guys that have been fast are the same guys that are going to be fast, because they're the ones that did the tire test.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not the same thing as race conditions and all that, but any extra data that you have with a spec car, you're going to be able to be faster than everybody else. So that'll be a surprise to see with Chicagoland. What say you there, sir? What's your crystal ball tell you about what you expect to see there coming up on Saturday and Sunday?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think tire wear, like you said, will be a big issue, but I think it'll be just kind of, I don't know. It also will be one of those situations where, like you had said before, if they do have, the tire testing time and stuff, like the drivers that have been out there, they will have that advantage a little bit because they've already been out there. They kind of got a feel for the track a little bit. They've run laps, so they kind of know. But I'm sure all the other drivers have been putting in sim time too, which sims are good, but they don't always give you the right feel either of the track. But nowadays, the way these sims are nowadays, I mean, it could give you every little bump and crevice that you can feel on the track itself. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they do. Book's kind of open on who the winner might be for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a wide open weekend for sure. Like I said, unless somebody nails it and just waxes them. I think we're going to run the possibility of being there. Back on TNT, although you still have to pay for basic cable to get TNT. Everybody wants the so. What was the vibe? I know you didn't get a chance to watch Sonoma because it was the first TNT race, but you read a lot of stuff online like I did. It seems as though, although I saw varying opinions about Marty Smith, we talked about that on Saturday. I went back in and tried to watch part of it. That is a unique take to have Marty Smith be the host versus, moving Shannon Spake over to be a pit reporter. I saw that Danielle Trotta was getting a lot of grief about her pit reporting style, that she's better as a host. I don't think she's a bad pit reporter. I think she's better as a host. But Marty Smith was a unique choice. I'll be interested to see what he has to say because he's a Southern guy with all the SEC stuff that he does. So I'll be interested to see his take on Sunday for the America 250, even though it'll be the day before. Do you see the paid schemes for this week? Lots of badass paid schemes. A lot of them are the same ones they ran in San Diego, but there's a couple of new ones. That PPG Mustang for Austin Cindric and Team Penske. That thing looks so good I can't wait to see that one on the racetrack. So a couple other ones there were good too, but yeah, definitely that's one of the ones that stood out for me. So, question for you: the upcoming couple of races. What races are you more anticipating to have a good time at, North Wilkesboro or Indianapolis?
To me, being a legend NASCAR fan, I would have more fun at North Wilkesboro, to tell you the truth. I like that old track. It's got a lot of history there, and just the track itself is amazing, I think, just being an old track.
Yeah, ironically today, in addition to the Chicagoland Speedway, today was 9 years ago today, I ended up being at North Wilkesboro and looking at a horrible, horrible racetrack. I remember the family when I pulled up, they're like, "What do you do? What is this shithole?" Because all the buildings were caved in, everything was grown up around it. I'm like, "This, ladies and gentlemen, is North Wilkesboro Speedway." And they're like, "Why are you here?" Like, because I'm never going to get this close again. And I haven't been that close since the last time I went out there. But I'm so glad. I said it on the show multiple times for multiple years. I am so happy. I was never been more happy to be more wrong about a racetrack. Because it's going to be interesting. I think that they should have left the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro, first points race there since 1996. So 450 laps, I think, is what it's going to be. The track surface is new. It'll hold up, but I don't know. I got a feeling at some points in that race, it's going to be like your typical short track race and going to be follow the leader for a while.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I think it'll put on a good show either way, though.
I think it'll put on a good show, but as far as Indy, I think that this Gen 7 car has been able to put on some pretty decent racing there at the Brickyard. I think that once again, because of fuel mileage and some of the other things, I think you'll get another surprise winner like you got last year in Bubba Wallace. I have a feeling it's going to be a Toyota because the Toyotas have just, for whatever reason, hit on this 750 horsepower package and been dominant. I'm really looking forward to the Fords. The biggest surprise I have so far of 2026 and was not on my bingo card was definitely Joey Logano. I'm shocked at how piss poor he's been running all year. It's not a new thing. He hadn't been able to sniff the front hardly any at all this year.
No, usually past couple of years he's at least been up the front a couple of times, but this year at all, I mean, really hasn't touched the front, to be honest.
Yeah, he hadn't been very good. Penske as a whole, and actually Ford as a whole, right there, have been kind of at the back burners there. When you've got some of the other Ford teams that kind of, when RFK is out running Penske for all three cars, that's other than Blaney. Blaney's the bright spot with the Ford camp, has been for a long time. Him and Hassler have that stuff rocking and rolling. So a couple of very good races coming up here, potentially good races coming up here the next couple of weeks there on the NASCAR schedule. Before we get on out of here, don't want to forget, obviously you sent this to me this afternoon, and hopefully I can get it pulled up again. We mentioned this kind of in the beginning of the show, talking about local racing. Here is your Sean Folsom photography picture of the week. Let me see if it pulls up. There it is. Covers us both. So tell us about this flip. I know you mentioned a little bit at the beginning of the show, but tell us about it now.
Yeah, that's the David Miller's car up in the air, going towards the catch fence. Luckily, that was there, or he probably would have flipped over the wall. But yeah, I guess, not sure really how it happened. I'll let the drivers tell that on their own side. I just saw it through a lens. All I saw was him going through the air, so I turned in real fast and started snapping away as fast as my little lens finger could go. But yeah, luckily he had landed the car on the side and he was able to get out safely and not really hurt. So that was the main plus side of that.
Did he end up popping that light pole, the stoplight there, the track light? Do you know if he ended up hitting that too, and that's what put him on the ground?
No, and as far as I know, I don't think he did, because our safety crew checked the fence and everything was fine. So yeah, I think that he basically grazed the fence, and then that's what basically stopped the car. But yeah, it was pretty scary there for a second, for sure. I mean, rollover at a racetrack is never good.
Yeah, because he didn't land on all fours. He landed on the side, right? He kept it on the side. Like, you got to see the bottom side of that chassis for sure. So
Yeah, the roof of the car basically hit the catch fence, and then basically it looked like it just kind of slid down. It caught the car and then just slid down from there and landed on its side.
there it is, the Sean Folsom photography photo of the week. That was the one that you that's the one you wanted. You sent me two different versions of that flip, so we decided to go with that one. So lots of good stuff, lots of good photo action as always there from you, my friend. Also, other breaking news today. I know that you saw this. You got privy to this. I don't know if a lot of people have seen this, and I'm going to post this on the Revved Up page when the show's over. If you did not see the news today, this was all over social media, all over the TV, all over the internets and the interwebs. Two individuals climbed there in New York City, climbed to the top of the Empire State Building, and they dropped a flag. But the crazy part about it is they finally figured out who the culprits was and where the flag came from. And it's this flag right here. That's right. We hooked up with the mass people there in New York City, and we were able to get them to hold up the 10-year Revved Up flag. All publicity is good publicity, right? You just got to have the right publicity. There's no such thing as bad publicity, y'all. But we ended up coming through, and luckily for them, they had been arrested. We're not paying their bail, but they did get arrested and ended up getting arrested when they got to the bottom. But we thank them for posting the Revved Up Sports Show flag, especially in honor of right in the middle of the 10-year anniversary of the show, right there, celebrating 10 years, 2016 to 2026, the show that started it all. And that's how we're going to end this week's show. Obviously, we talked about it. No, not a lot of local races for us, except for our friends down at the South Texas Race Ranch. Lots of racing action around the country. If you can't find yourself sitting with your butt in a seat at the racetrack, find yourself watching it on the streamer. Try to support the tracks any way you can. In person is the best, because that's where you get the most excitement, is right there in the seat with the dirt in the beer, the dust in your eyes, and the smell of burnt rubber and gasoline. You can't replicate that at home. So as we roll along, Sean, what else you got? I mean, you're working all weekend though, right? Or you doing something tomorrow, aren't you?
Going to Six Flags tomorrow. Me and my brother are actually going to take a little family trip, and we're going to go down to Six Flags for the day, go hit the water park, go hit some roller coasters, have a good little fun down there. And then come the weekend, I think get off work and me and my family are going to go eat dinner and then probably go watch some local fireworks in the big town of Dale over here. So see what we got going on fireworks wise. They usually put on a pretty good show over here for a little town of nothing. Fire station and gas station, basically.
The people are used to us when we say that, Rodney lives north of Austin. I live just south of Austin. Sean lives, I guess, east of Austin, kind of, sort of, but he lives in a little bitty town. Although it's not as little as it used to be. I won't say Podunk. They got a couple of stoplights and a couple of stop signs in there now that they didn't have. But we thank you, sir, for filling in this week. Part of hanging out with me for a good solid hour here on the Revved Up Sports Show. So
always happy to jump on here with you guys.
Yeah, no, it's a good time. We thank everybody for their comments with the show. Once again, you can check out the Revved Up Sports Show website. That's where you have a lot of the archives and some other stuff that we have. Obviously, we're working on trying to get some of the old school audio only archives up on there. That is on the big to-do list for Rodney and myself, but that's what we're going to have. That's what we look to have, and we'll be able to add some video to the ones that we're able to add to the audio, but that's, big picture stuff. Hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have a lot of those older videos up, or those older clips up and ready to go. So anyway, all right. Well, buddy, thanks again one more time for coming. So for my good buddy, Sugar Sean Folsom, I'm Showtime Bobby Chaffee. Next show to be determined. Hopefully next week we'll double check with Rodney's schedule, because he's going to be in between. He's going to be in between Chicago and Indianapolis. We're going to check and see what his schedule is going to be like for next week. But you never know. Never know what day. Stick to the socials, and we'll see you when we see you. But everybody have a great weekend at the racetrack. God bless. Godspeed. We'll see you later.